A phone has no business having cameras this good. I want to be clear about something. I'm not a photographer, but then this phone happened. And suddenly, I have composition, I have lighting, I have a style. Where did this come from? Somewhere along the way, I stopped taking photos and started taking pictures. Now, sure, we'll talk about the cameras. That's what majority of the video is going to be about. But it's still a phone and we ought to talk about the phone. So question number 1, it's a big phone with a big camera bump. Is it comfortable as an everyday phone? Question number 2, sure, it's got great cameras, but how much better than the Vivo X300 Pro or the iPhone 17 Pro?
Oh, shit.
And question number 3, should I spend close to 1.6 lakhs on a Vivo phone? How's the software, the battery, the overall performance? So let's answer all of that. I'll split the video into quick chapters so you can jump to whatever you want to watch. Let's talk about how the phone looks and feels, and this is a bit controversial because half the design is the camera. That camera bump, so thick that you can use it as a grip. Visually, it's out there. You could use it as a mount, so surely Vivo's not shying away from giving you a great camera. But this, guys, is exactly what makes it a smartphone with an epic camera system. And over time, you actually find it more useful than you thought you would. Me, for one, naturally started using it as a finger shelf. While gaming, I could just grab it right there and it kind of feels comfy. Also, because it's symmetrical, I can use it flat on the table without any kind of wobbling. Yes, it's hefty, but when you hold it and when it's yours, the first thought in your mind isn't that, whoa, it's bulky. It's I can't wait to test out the cameras. I can't wait to play with it. Couple of other things really quick. So there are two colors, a green and a black. I personally prefer the black for myself. And regardless of which color you go with, they both have a really nice matte finish. And surprisingly, very hard to get fingerprints on. You can also dip the phone into a swimming pool, no problem. The back has fiberglass protection, which is actually better than having Gorilla Glass. You see, fiberglass is more shatter resistant, which is exactly what you need on the back body. The front is protected using Vivo's own armor glass, which is decent, but I would have actually preferred to have Gorilla Glass Victus 2 or something like that. But I guess that would have just increased the cost even more. The good thing is that you do get a pre-applied screen protector. In fact, you get everything in the box. A cable, a 100-watt charger, a protective case, which honestly looks and feels really good. Wow, I think I've covered the design quite a bit, but you know what makes that design really pop? Is that display. And I really don't want to waste your time talking about the display much because like any Ultra flagship, the display here is everything you'd want it to be. Ultra size display, check. HDR display, including Dolby Vision support for Netflix content, check. Super sharp, check. Super smooth, check. Bright outdoors, check. But here's one thing that most people miss talking about is that being a smartphone, I think it's really important for this display to remain bright for longer outdoors and not compromise on brightness if in case the phone was to get hot. Thankfully, the X300 Ultra held up quite well, and I'll talk about why when we talk about performance. All in all, I think it's really tough to complain about the display. I mean, even when I'm looking at the pictures I took, it all looks really good and more importantly, accurate. And speaking of the pictures I took, let's talk about the cameras. And I really want to make it super easy for you guys to understand what's really happening. Okay, so you've got 3 cameras at the back along with a color sensing camera. I'll explain the color sensor, but let me first tell you about the rest. First is your ultra-wide camera. Then is the main camera, which is a 35mm lens. And finally, you've got an 85mm telephoto lens. And by the way, all Zeiss cameras. And first, let me tell you about the 35mm lens because many might not tell you about it. And I think it's really important because it impacts the way your photos look and the way your phone looks. Number 1, when you open the camera, the default view on the X300 Ultra is a bit zoomed in. Of course, you can zoom out by switching to ultra-wide and that's entirely up to you. Number 2, because it's 35mm, the natural bokeh or the background blur is absolutely flattering. These are not even shot in portrait mode, so there's no artificial blurring in this. It's all natural, so beautiful. And number 3, because this is a 35mm lens on a nearly 1-inch sensor is what makes this camera housing bigger than on any other phone that naturally has like a 23mm or a 24mm lens. But guys, the photos this main lens can take are really nice. Great dynamic range, even indoors or in relatively low light situations. It does well. Love the colors too. Speaking of colors, this phone has color styles right here. 10 of them are pre-made, but refined here is something very special. Because it captures photos that look very, very close to how they really look to your eyes when you saw it at the time of clicking. And you can see the difference very clearly. And this works so beautifully, especially on leaves and flowers. It's unreal how perfect the colors look in this refined mode. No phone can do this right now. None of the other Ultras. And you know what's crazy? You can take any of these and further tune it up in terms of highlights, shadows, or saturations. You can even add effects like halo or grain and tweak all of these things to make your very own color style, which you can save and apply whenever you want to click something special. And guys, this works for all lenses, including the front camera, and it can be applied to videos as well. Okay, so that's about the main lens, and we'll talk about the videos, but first let's also talk about the ultra-wide and the telephoto. So, the 50 megapixel 14mm ultra-wide lens is an amazing lens. It's great to really capture the grand scenes. In fact, it's got good dynamic range than most other ultra-wide cameras that I've used in other ultra phones. Even low-light captures look really nice. I believe it's a great lens to not only capture the place, but also how you were feeling at that moment when you were there. I know it's a little philosophical, but it's that. Okay, then there's the telephoto lens, 85mm or 2.5x zoom lens. In fact, just to give you an idea, this is the difference between 35mm and 85mm lens if you were standing at the same place and clicking. And this telephoto lens is definitely a great one to click portraits. I mean, 35mm is good, but 85mm just a lot more flattering. Here are some portraits taken with the telephoto. The accuracy and the background separation so spot on. Even in low light, it really doesn't flinch and looks pretty good. But I was really keen on seeing how does the X300 Ultra portraits vary from that on the X300 Pro and the iPhone 17 Pro. So let's take a look at that. So here you go. Right off the bat, the X300 Ultra feels just perfect for an Instagram story, does it not? Even in low light, it's sharp, the face tones look nice, and even my shirt's texture, it looks so fine. Here, honestly, I did feel the iPhone did better overall, although X300 Ultra looks quite nice too. But we know that the X300 Ultra has color styles. So, if this was in default vivid mode, I could take it in the natural color style or refined color style, which is definitely a lot closer to what I would have seen with my eyes at the time of clicking. Here's another example. I do feel all look nice. iPhone does feel a bit more natural again. And if that is your style, you could switch the color styles on X300 Ultra while taking a photo, which you might like more. But just think about the zoom range you're getting. If this is a 14mm ultra wide, it can zoom in here and give you such incredibly sharp photos. Again, just how far cameras have come in smartphones. Speaking of range, let me show you what it can do, okay? So there is ultra-wide, there is 1x, and there is 2.5x, which are the optical focal lengths. And then there's 5x and 6.7x, which kind of crops into the 200 megapixel telephoto lens. And let's see what you get. So this was shot in ultra-wide, this in 1x, and this is 2.5x. But you could go ahead at 5x and then punch in 6.7x to get this close and still not lose much of that detail. But imagine, this was in low light and yet it did a pretty good job. Of course, a lot of this detail is achieved because of computational photography or AI, so some of it is just created using logical sense. But the other thing the telephoto lens can do is take really good macros. So you could really zoom into a shot and get this or this. Just notice the details. Every vein in that flower petal, so nicely visible. See, the iPhone 17 Pro, Pro Max or the S26 Ultra, they use their ultra-wide lens to get like a passable macro shot. This is completely different. By the way, guys, if this kind of zoom is not enough, you can separately buy a telephoto extender kit. The whole kit comes with a case, a 400mm lens, a 200mm lens, a grip, and a couple of other accessories that you can use to level up zoom photography. So if the telephoto lens in your phone is the zoom lens, then think of this as Zoom Pro and this as Zoom Pro Max. Anyway, with this kind of lens on, you get insane zoom capabilities with optical clarity. And now you can think of, clicking photos of your child on the stage or an artist at a concert or players on a field. And of course, wildlife. It's kind of difficult to get really close to these beautiful creatures. Oh, and by the way, you can also just buy the 400mm lens along with the case if you don't want the whole kit. And I'll leave different pricing options in the description so you can go through that. let's now talk about the front camera, okay? So it's a 50 megapixel shooter, and for the most part, it takes absolutely fantastic selfies. I shot them all in portrait mode, so we could also see the accuracy of how well it could separate me from the background, and I think it did a really good job. Although there were times that I felt the selfie could have been a little brighter, but majority of the times, I was happy with the skin tones. In fact, I was comparing them to the iPhone 17 Pro and Vivo's own X300 Pro just to understand the difference, and while there are minor differences, I really think it's about what you prefer personally. The only thing with the X300 Ultra is that you can use any other color style that you prefer. So if you want a more natural or more authentic style, you've got it. Also, I really want to clarify one thing. These color styles are not like filters, okay? They're a lot like photography styles on the iPhone. So it understands the current lighting situation or the environment, and it rebuilds the lighting when you click a photo, and it adjusts for all the settings that you've applied. Again, no other phone gives you that level of control as this does. Now, there's one more thing that really makes the X300 Ultra different, and that's if you go in here, there's AI creative styles, and it kind of recreates a photo in a way that, only professionals can do. So, for example, there's glow. And if I click here, you see what it does to a regular photo? It's pretty crazy. Let me show you an example. For example, here's a picture taken by both the X300 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro. It looks quite ordinary, right? But then I can go into creative, and then I could go into urban retro, which kind of has this effect. That's pretty cool, right? And see what happens. It makes the same photo look like this while the iPhone still looks quite ordinary. Or there's sunlight mode, which gets you this on the X300 Ultra and this on the iPhone. The other day, I was at a Snapdragon event. I shot this sitting from far in the audience, but with creative mode, I could create something like this. Or take this shot, which was taken on a very clear sunny evening, but I used the evening glow mode to make it look like this. What I'm trying to say is that if used properly, I think you can have a lot of fun with this mode. Anyway, let's talk about videos because we've not done that. First of all, it shoots 4K 120 FPS on all three lenses, even in 10-bit log if you want to. And here's some sample footage that I shot. It's stable, looks nice, dynamic range is pretty decent too. Nothing that I'd complain too much about, but again, because it's 35mm lens, the video that you shoot will feel a bit zoomed in than what you're probably used to. And as I said earlier, you can apply color styles when you shoot videos, but if you go into film here, you'll see film look and film style, which gets you this very cinematic, moody look. And I think it'll take someone like me a lot of effort to get a look like this. But with this phone, it's just a tap away. Let's also check out the selfie video. I've taken a sample. Alright guys, so this is a video sample shot on the front-facing camera of the X300 Ultra, shot in 4K portrait video. No microphone, no gimbal, okay? It's all straight raw from the camera. And I'm shooting in portrait video, so you also get an understanding of real-time edge detection as I walk. Lastly guys, I think Vivo has done a fabulous job with the camera app in itself. There's just so much in it, it can be a bit overwhelming at first. And I really appreciate Vivo giving us the option to completely customize what controls we want to see in every mode. They've also made a special pro mode for video, and it's super clean, okay? Like all controls push to the corners, super easy for you to reach and make changes. There's also an option to preview with a specific LUT, which by the way, you can import more of. I also shot a couple of videos in the log mode just to see how it comes out, and here's a sample. To tell you the truth, as a person who has all the Ultra phones, this would be the phone that I would pick up every time that I have to, let's say go on a vacation and click photos. It's that simple and obvious for me. Because the best part is I can click casual photos or super professional photos, both from one phone. And the fact that it's got a whole set of features that I'd need to create content on the fly, it's actually a no-brainer. And sure, it can be overwhelming at first, but I think that is the fun part, the getting to know, the playing around, and then just seeing something that you created you didn't even know you could. That's the kind of cameras this has got. Now guys, let's talk about the performance, okay? And very frankly, if you're convinced about the cameras, there's really nothing else that you need to be convinced about. In this category of phones, performance is really not something you need to be worried about. It's an ultra phone, packs ultra performance, and look at this, it stacks right up amongst the top 3, beating almost all flagships out there. You can play your favorite games in super high quality or super smooth frame rates without any hiccups. Feels buttery smooth. The phone definitely never got too hot while regular use or while gaming for long hours. But of course, if you were to use its camera out in the heat for too long, it does get a little warm. But then so do most phones. Even in terms of battery, it packs a 6600 mAh silicon carbon battery, which is again on the higher side when you look at most other phones in this ultra category. Honestly, why worry about it? It can easily last you the entire day with some battery left to spare in the night. And if you've got like moderate use, this can go on for about a day and a half. Also, it charges to full in about an hour with this included 100-watt charger. But you know, how long the battery lasts isn't just about the capacity, it's also about the software. And Vivo's software is one area that people have been a bit less confident about. But guys, with Origin OS 6, a lot has changed. For example, just like some of the newer flagships, the X300 Ultra 2 can airdrop to an iPhone, and not kidding, it just works. And obviously you can transfer back from the iPhone to the Ultra 2, so works both ways, and it works with MacBooks also. No third-party app required. Then there's Origin Island, much like Dynamic Island, but better. You can drag things onto it and it's going to show you relevant apps to send them through. Origin OS 6 is also highly customizable. There's like a bunch of themes that you could browse through and apply in a single click. And some of them absolutely crazy. There's also private space, which is like a personal vault where you can store sensitive photos, videos, or files that's only known to you. And seriously guys, if you want to know more, I've done a full dedicated video talking about all the new features that you get in Origin OS 6. I'll leave a link right over here. Definitely catch that if you're serious, but overall, huge improvement from what we saw in FunTouch earlier. Also, if you're interested in knowing, there's 5 years of OS upgrades and 7 years of security updates, so you're sorted for long. Now guys, before I share my final thoughts about the phone, let's talk about the pricing. So the phone comes in 2 colors, but only one memory variant, and it's for 1.6 lakhs. But as of now, there is a 16,000 rupee cashback, so you can bag this phone for less. Also, you can bundle the entire photographer's kit for an additional 50,000, or if you just want the 400mm lens kit with the case and the grip, that would be an additional 40,000. Sure, this is ultra pricing, but I think Vivo gets to do that because right now, there's actually no phone that's got the camera capabilities that this phone has. Overall, should you get this? Or who should get this? If you're extremely fond of taking pictures everywhere, traveling, attending concerts, matches in stadiums, you've got a kid or a pet running around that you'll want to grab memories of, or occasions, birthday parties or bachelors, but in a way that you didn't know you could, this is the phone then. Get this phone if you're willing to tinker, spend some time with the phone, getting to know the features and trying them out. That's when this makes most sense. And the fact that it's packed with video capabilities like 4K 120 FPS, 10-bit log, and an incredibly well-designed Pro video suite makes it great for creating content too. And guys, even as a phone, it's undoubtedly flagship. But yeah, that's it guys about the Vivo X300 Ultra. I really want to know what you think about the phone. If you guys have any thoughts, questions, please put them in the comments. Would love to go through them and even talk with you over there. All right. If you did enjoy watching the video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Hit that bell notification icon, mark all. Really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys in the next one.